Put your duck in there.
Mm-hmm.
So cold.
Mm-hmm. Welcome, everybody, to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Comer, and a podcast engineer here. And I'm excited to bring you another episode of the Conversation for All with Christian Mendez and AC Marketing for All. I've been doing here for the last few months here. And been working with Christian and his marketing things on different projects and so on. So it's been fun, but to have some great guests today. So to kick it off, I am going to pass it over to Christian to kick us off today. So welcome, Christian. Yeah, you are on mute, Christian.
Thank you, guys. So good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're hearing, wherever you're listening to, wherever you're tuning in. We are definitely here Fridays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you. This is September 20th. Please, we're going to go ahead and start off. We're coming in really hot. We're coming in really compiling some collaborative minds. So we want to get right to it. Don't miss out our Solidarity Summit. We're going to be there calling all change makers this weekend, the capital HUMAN. Lowercase S Cooperative Network Solidarity Summit. And we at EC Marketing for All are excited to be a part of it. A weekend connection, collaboration, and mutual aid network. That's with our wonderful speaker, one of our guests today, Stephanie. So you guys can come on in. Please do share it out to folks. Please go ahead and share it, send out those invitations. We're looking if you're looking to meet fellow change makers from around the world, learn about each other's projects, share resources, brainstorm ideas for collective action. Bless you. And what we're bringing to the table, digital media and design Skillshare. You're going to get expert advice and design and collaborative spirit sessions. And we're also going to be doing a couple of follow-ups. And then we're going to put some things on the table as well. For October 24th, we have another summit that we're going to be Emily's orchestrating. And we're also working with a couple of the community paid forward.us with Zach and his involvement. But all in all, I want to go ahead and just really quickly remind you and thank you guys all. Why we're here is to reminder one big thing. Did you guys know that 22 veterans take their lives each day? Let's change that. Conversation for All has joined the podcast network, today's disability channel, the World of Ability Podcast Network, and ProjectDieHard.org, along with Helpopedia, along with the Mutual Aid Network, and a couple of other organizations that we're bringing and raising awareness and providing resources for our underserved communities, our mental health communities, our veteran communities, our disability communities. So again, folks, thank you for being here, and we're going to start off the introductions and, of course, the warm greeting for Stephanie. Come on in. Tell us a little bit about you, human, and what you guys got going on this weekend. And again, thank you for including me.
All right. Thank you. So I am Stephanie Rearick. I live in Madison, Wisconsin. And the things that I want to do with my life and time, like a lot of people, they're not like the most marketable things. And so I've been working for a long time. So for example, I play original independent music that isn't, it isn't mainstream sounding, and it's not, I call it unpop for a genre. And through that ended up being co-owner of a little coffee house. I'm actually really interested in learning more about some of your payment processing things. And I've also been active in the issues surrounding mass incarceration in this culture. So, and environmental issues as well. So I realize that the economy as it's practiced in this country, especially, and right now, especially, really isn't friendly to the things that I want to do. And so I got involved in I actually started a time bank. I got involved in complementary currencies when my coffee house started because cash was always tight. I've completely benefited from a neighborly economy. I bought a house in a neighborhood here that I really like. I bought it really cheap. I didn't know houses were sold that cheap, but also got a business really cheap because the owner thought we would keep it, like make it what she wanted for the neighborhood. She financed it herself at 0% interest. So, and one of the things I realized, and we've always like bartered and exchanged. I've always been lucky to play in bands with carpenters who've saved us when we suddenly have to do a unexpected remodel. We actually had a car crash all the way through our coffee house a few years ago. But I have always benefited from neighborly economics. And one reason I've been able to benefit is I've just been in a situation where it's public what I have to offer because I play music and then I got to own a business. But everyone should have the opportunity to make it known what you have to offer and be able to exchange outside of having to get bank loans or having to have rich relatives or start off with an economic advantage. So yeah, so I started a time bank. I'm just going to share my screen and I am about to get to the point, believe me. Or I'll just say take my word for it, hopefully. So anyhow, our work has evolved into Humans United and Mutual Aid Networks, and we're a form of cooperative that is open to everyone. What we want to do is help people create networks in your own community, where you live or your community of interest. You know, I work with a lot of people who are interested in having a community justice model where we take care of problems ourselves and we're equipped to make peace in our own communities without involving the police, without, you know, needing to take an action that might put our neighbor in a cage, maybe because they have a mental health situation that causes them to behave in ways that don't comply with the law. So anyhow, Humans United and Mutual Aid Networks, we realize we can create a type of cooperative. Like a lot of times a cooperative is just for the workers or just for the consumers or just for a certain type of producer. But we want to make a cooperative for all of us as humans that really values everything that we all have to offer. Because in addition to like the work that we do to get money, to have a roof over our heads, we also all need to do caregiving work or want to do caregiving work and don't have time. We all have family members or friends or neighbors who sometimes need a hand. We all sometimes need a break. We all benefit from ongoing learning, from having enough time to take care of ourselves, from traveling, and from creativity. So we use a variety of cooperative economic tools, and these are them. So time banking is where we exchange an hour per hour. We don't put a price on our time. So I give a piano lesson, I get an hour in my account and you are an hour down in your account for the piano lesson. I can spend that hour to get graphic design help or get rides someplace. I can spend more hours than I've earned because time banking is really based on some core values that say everyone has something to give. Everyone has needs and needs to give and receive, sometimes more of one or the other at different times. And so we value all that. And we also really build up more sharing. So one of the things we share is money. This common fund money pool is something that we're practicing with. And we're actually doing that here in Madison, Wisconsin as a pilot, where people save their money in an account together and then choose to give some of it as no interest loans to help out their neighbors who need it. So anyhow, we are expanding on that so we can use that common fund to incubate new projects. So when people talk about they like to invest in startups, we're creating a type of startup where you can invest right into a community. You don't have to give it to a nonprofit that works in the community and hope that they do something good with it. You can invest right into a community and you know that community has access to the best available knowledge, the best available peer support, technical assistance to govern that well and turn that into what they see can meet their needs or achieve their dreams. So it really is about hacking a lot of practice, you know, long practiced economic tools, including things like barn raisings. In Kenya, it's a practice called mweria, where people pool their labor, build a house for each other. So it is essentially we're connecting the tried and true with some new technologies, some slick ways to connect and communicate. So the ability to connect online, and just create, and then networking across our networks. So tomorrow we have the Human Solidarity Summit, and you're all invited. You don't have to be a member. We encourage people to become a member because then you can use the marketplace, and then you have clear rights and responsibilities as come with being a member of a co-op. But we just want people to participate. So whether you're a member or not, whether you ever give money or not, we would love for you to be part of it. So every quarter we connect online, and some of us will be in person too. So I'm going to host actually from our social justice center here in Madison, Wisconsin. So we'll have people here in the room from our local mutual aid network, but we'll be connecting with people in Slovenia and France and the UK and South Africa and Kenya, and all different parts of North America. And the more the merrier, and the more the better. Our mission is to create means for everyone to discover and succeed in work they want to do with the support of their community, and really to like have it so we can be well supported, being whole human beings, because we're not only relying on dollars that are lent by banks, we're also relying on each other in ways that are sustainable and meaningful, and that can really make an impact in our economic lives, and really create opportunities for all of us to do more of what we want, less of what we don't want, build our skills, and have a lot of opportunities for just more joyful, lively humanhoods. So if you go to mutualaidnetwork.org and you click on events, you'll find the Solidarity Summit. And here's the schedule. And as Christian mentioned, he and Emily are going to be helping us with a Skillshare about improving our digital communications, websites, and digital media campaigns, because a lot of us are doing organizing because we have a dream for our community, but we haven't necessarily learned those skills like other people have. So that's what it's all about, giving you a taste of what's like to do the peer supports, the shared learning, and create opportunities for you to make ongoing connections, matching offers and needs, and also sing a little bit together, because Marilyn is going to host some online karaoke from where she lives in Hawaii. So yeah, we hope you can join us, and you can find the information at mutualaidnetwork.org. Starts at 10 a.m. Central Time, which is Chicago time, tomorrow on September 21st. We'd love to see you.
All right. And again, thank you so much. We're going to bring in, and as we're bringing in, and unmute yourself, Mr. Justin, and then Alan, introduce yourself. Definitely welcome back. And while we're doing that and unplugging or unmuting ourselves and getting out there, I want to just bring a little bit of a lot of actual emphasis into what Stephanie's doing. No, you're absolutely fine. A wonderful, informative piece. We aim to give value and always provide value, not just dull moments or no noise moments. So with that being said, I want to really bring what Stephanie has brought to the table. I want to emphasize on that, because not all heroes wear capes. We're talking today about some of the stuff that's been happening in a minority community, some of the stuff that's been happening in the hip hop world, some of the stuff that is really global news. And I mean global, because this is the impact that one person, this Sean Combs, known as Puff Daddy, known as P. Diddy, known as Puffy. Now he has another name, by the way, if you guys don't know. It's 37452-054. It gets real, but I bring that to the table because it truly means one person can reign over, one person can organize. This conglomerate thinks of people flying in, and this is in a disgusting manner. People that were abused and all this other horrific stuff that you guys hear on the news. Let's flip that. If we can use our superpowers and we can actually utilize time banking, we can utilize folks that are trustworthy, integrity, like Justin McKay. We can lean on folks that have helped out individuals with disabilities out in water skiing, like Kurt Roscoff, a VA like Emily or a master connector like Alan Holmes, where we're able to sit down in front of him and look at him in the eyes and say, hey, this is what I'm looking at. This is what I need. Can you help me? Listen, I'm not one to impact. I'm not here to preach. We're just here sharing. And I now know we're going to be impacting. I'll be present, and we're going to be singing loud in Wisconsin tomorrow, but also globally, as Stephanie just mentioned. So absolutely welcome in. Justin, introduce yourself, and then Mr. Allen, introduce yourself right after Justin.
Hello. Yeah, my name is Justin McKay. I'm in Sacramento, California. And just to piggyback on Stephanie, yeah, I became what I am today because of following dreams, where I was from, a lot of doors weren't open. And I just luckily met some people in my life that said, hey, you could do other stuff. So that's a big why of mine. And I love what you have there, Stephanie, because, just opening doors and dreams and doing what you want to do. I went off the path of just a 9-to-5 job. I was pretty okay. I remember when I was about to become an entrepreneur, my mom said, don't do it. But it's really about following dreams. And that's why I tend to focus on financial industries, because finances is that's a huge barrier for a lot of people. So I love what you do, especially the time banking. That's incredible.
Alan. You're already unmuted.
Well, I say messing with technology. Wonderful. Happy Friday to each one of you. Nice to see you again, Mr. Justin, sir, from Southern California. And Stephanie, oh my goodness, I love your presentation. Community, the essence of business, and I'm the master connector for Ford. Well, you've just basically left the word cat out of the bag of why I do what I do. Is because community and building human networks, and as I call myself, a human search engine, time banking, giving back. I remember probably about 11 years ago, I had a door that was kind of not the way it's supposed to be, ended up $800 door, but I got it basically at no cost because of this thing called sharing and community banking. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing what you're doing. I love the Solidarity Summit. I love this bringing together of just helping the community get to the next level of bringing back conversations. As my brother from another, Mr. Christian Mendez, always says, back to you, Christian, for what a wonderful panel. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this incredible. Happy Friday to each one of you.
Absolutely. So we've gone a little bit over time because it's now 1:30, but we're on here for 30 minutes, so let's make the use of it. Let's make value. One of the things that I was looking at before hopping on here, this Mr. Combs allegedly estimated at 740 million. That's his net worth. It's gone down to 400 million. But let's be realistic and exactly take a look at what can 1 million do for our communities. The saddest part about it, folks, and I'm just looking at Stephanie, Justin, Kurt, Alan, Emily, myself, and we're going to take the note takers out of this. We have about 6 individuals in here. We collectively can and have more value than $250,000 each. That's 250,000. That's super easy. And I'm going to tell you right now, so 250,000 is 1/4. We've got 5 people, 6 Emily. So we've already gotten at least value. I can tell you, honestly, integrity. I know my annual more than 250, but we're going to average it. So in this room collectively, we're already over 1 million. So what are we actually doing with that million? And that's why I really love the aspect and the angle, and if you can or will, the approach that Stephanie's bringing to this. It's in regards to bringing other people. Now, I'm really involved, and I want to get involved in uplifting the communities and different networks and different professionals and different services. Before we turn it over to Kurt and Emily to introduce themselves and some of the wonderful things that they've got going on, we're going to just stop and again talk about what it means to actually to do work for, let's say, Stephanie or anybody else in the human mutual aid network. I may not be in Wisconsin, but if I do have a group that has something to do with maybe songwriting or maybe horse riding or something that I have another mutual like-minded individual that's saying community is important to me as it is to you. Uplifting projects and individuals is as important. It's actually more important than a dollar. I can give you a dollar today. I can give you a dollar tomorrow. And then come Monday, I'm going to charge you $5. Well, wait a minute. You were giving me and now you're charging me. Well, it's just transactions. It's just many transactions that people occur or that people have. So how do we make that transaction with more value? How do I make my dollar be valued more? Well, here's how. I'm going to give Stephanie, Justin, Alan, Kurt, Emily, and anybody else and anyone else that knows me, we're going to give you value in all sorts of the time. You can reach me in the mornings. I had one of my clients who were celebrating 10 years. By the way, shout out to Clean and More LLC out of Omaha. Woo, woo. To 10 years working with us. She's already handed me over to her son. So I've already been passed down in the family business. That's huge for a marketing company to be able to be handed down. I'm part of the family. I'm intricate. But the beautiful part that I was sharing with you guys is that this morning I got a text message and she reached out to me because she got this email in regards to, so she sends me this information all the time. Because she trusts me. We've been working together for 10 years. Her kids trust me. Her family trusts me. This is the thing that I raise value and that I bring in, and I have that trust. I earned that trust. I provide results. I provide assistance. If they need anything within the digital world, they know they don't just have a marketer. They don't just have easy marketing. They don't just have me. It's everything that I come and that I bring. So again, if I have Justin on the other side of Sacramento, but my client is nowhere near you, you may be able to do something, Justin, for my client that I cannot do, or I am not in the position right now to be able to do. So Stephanie talked about her coffee house now, and I want to start promoting it, start getting some organic memorabilia from some of our organizations, because as we just said, Amazon is doing drop ship, and some of these folks that are on part of these networks and part of these things are being dragged into or pulled into membership sites. We're pulled into military or benefit sites or other time banking sites. Not all of them are the same. So I want you guys to really look at what it is and go to the terms and conditions. I went to the terms and conditions of every website. You guys can even cheat, if you will, and use AI. AI, does this benefit me, or what can I gain from this if I sign up with such and such with these terms of service? And you'll see AI is a tool and will go, boom, red flag. This is this, this is this, this is this, this is this. So they're basically, and so I mentioned to her, and I can do this for anybody else as well. And I want to start getting some donations, some funding, some things like that for some of our project diehard.org. I want to get some for the mutual aid network.org. I want to get some funding and some raising of resources for also our community pay it forward.us. I want to make sure that we're not just talking about these things, but actually taking action in it. And so I invite you to ask yourself in every single morning, what are we doing that's making an actionable results? And what action am I taking today? Not yesterday. Don't be like Al Bundy. Talk about your high school years and how he used to, back I was in college. No. I want to know what I put me first, what we are doing today to have a better today, have a better tomorrow. And how are we investing in our future? That's children. That's the future. And so we talk about this. And again, I know I'm kind of bringing in and swapping ideas and kind of bringing in, because I want to make sure that we have an understanding that, and why some people go, well, wait a minute, what do you do in that way? How do you benefit out of this? And I know Alan has said, I don't talk about my services. You're absolutely right. I would just love, folks, if you can stomach me, if you will, if you can tolerate me, if you can put up with me, if you can actually hang with me in conversations, then I'm going to introduce you to other wonderful human beings, because I have calluses that I've built up. I have a very thick skin that I've acquired through 20 plus years in the professional industry, plus the 40 years of life. So I've gotten that tough exterior. I've gotten that callus. So I can take that criticism. Boy, you can throw stones at him. I'm building. I build fences. I build structures. I'm building monuments with the stones thrown at me. It's just resourcefulness. But in true fact is that if you cannot talk to me, have patience with me, communicate with me, then I know you're not going to be communicative, patient, or otherwise with our disability, with our veterans, with our underserved, with our women, with our children population. So why would I ever think of having you anywhere near around, or thinking that you're going to have that potential, because you couldn't really even take the time and have conversation, communication, a clear understanding of what I'm needing right now. And so we're going to go ahead and continue on. And as we're wrapping up the last 5 minutes, come on in, Mr. Kurt Roskoff, introduce yourself, and then we'll have Emily. I think these are pivotal partners and folks that were working on the ground, boots on the ground since day one. And I tell folks about, the challenge that they placed on you, Kurt. If one person with disability goes out and does the water skiing, then everybody's going to have to. So
there we go. So it sounds like that's a segue to our skiing for all. Whoever wants to ski, come see me. I'm Kurt Roskoff, aka Special K. I'm here to brighten up your day. So woo, let's get underway. So we just heard Christian on fire, speaking for all. We heard our own voices in Christian's voice. We related to things he was saying, and he made it very personal. And then that kind of gave us that little nudge to how are we making what Christian all said personal. I had an experience with my water skiing at a practice a handful of years ago. I came up out of the water, I grabbed my skis, and I looked over at a gentleman off the peripheral view to my right. He was by a tree, and I got him in a conversation with me. And I said, hey, do you like anything we did? Are we doing anything right? I provoked a reaction. And he gave me quite a reaction. We had a nice conversation, and I saw it amounting to something. I thought of inviting him into the club, and I said, hey, what about joining our ski club? Because he enjoyed the lake living, the lake setting. He had a lot of complimentary things to say. It followed with awkward pause, folks, and I let it stay awkward because I wanted his response. How about joining our club? And you know what he came back with, folks? I thought you had to be somebody. And that really opened my eyes, folks, is that told me the thing that I love doing, have been doing it for decades, gives somebody the feeling that they're not good enough to do what Kurt Roskoff does. That really spoke to me. That was a message. That was a prompting to say, for the rest of my life, I'm going to make sure that 8+ billion people in the world all feel like whatever you see going on, let's unite together to help you do whatever it is you want to do. We are dream builders here. We're here to fulfill dreams. We're here to make dreams a reality. We are like one big ginormous Make-A-Wish Foundation. There are no limitations, folks. We have a lot of talent right here on the screen right now, and you're out there as talented human beings ready to do what you're doing, and we're connecting through this majestic show, Conversations for All, because it's conversations that's going to make it work. I was talking to my neighbor. He said with kids, it's a little bit of a problem, like with all the devices and other things with the new generations. He's observing, it doesn't seem like they're talking as much. They're not having the conversations. And it's a pain point for us in the elder generations to say, hey, it seems like for them to build their strongest future, we're wondering how they're going to have the conversations they need to have. So all we can do is be on here and give an example of a very powerful conversation. I'm pleased, proud, and privileged to be a part of it. Emily Gomer, give us your OMG EMG factor. Her middle initial is M, folks.
Thank you, Kurt. So I said before, a virtual assistant, podcast assistant, scheduler, and so if you're looking for any virtual assistant help or to be on either this show or one of the other shows that we have, like one we have tomorrow, please let me know. As well as all of our other projects and so on. So
Well, I appreciate you, Emily. I know humbly you're in the back, but you do so much. Again, you power a lot of the podcast. You're definitely one of the biggest parts of the engine and the driving force behind what we do. I say that as along with Alan and in regards to, I know we want to get a little bit more into, but I want to go back to what we're here and what we want to do. I'm inviting folks, and this is an open invitation for folks that want to get involved, that don't know where to start. And I know myself, I've reached out to, believe it or not, through different corporations and contracts and projects that I've had with the corporate world. I've actually been turned down from giving a donation to the pink ribbon, the Susan G. Coleman, I believe. And so, and there's requirements. I've aligned myself in putting applications to also benefit other organizations. And you know what I found out, and again, I share this with you guys. I share this with each organization. So each organization that's here, they know this isn't news to them. I've said there's some things that you need to move around. There's some things that you need to structure. There's some things that we need to add to bring validity. That doesn't make me the bad guy. That just makes me the person that will say, hey, I like what you guys are doing. I can help. And this is not even a consultant, as a business development representative. I do sales development. I do business development. And part of it is to make sure that whoever I'm working with or alongside, that I limit or minimize those risk factors. That's why I love leaning on folks like Justin, because he knows what to do in the funding world. He knows the ins and outs. He knows a lot more trip ups on there. And that's why I've acquired him, if you will, to be able to provide more help and more assistance with what we're doing. I'm going. And so with that being said, I'm proud to have him along, and in regards to what we're doing and in regards to what we've accomplished. So phenomenal work. And I want to just continue it. I want to continue to do that. And the only way we're going to do it is by actually not waiting on somebody else to do it, but actually doing it ourselves.
One or two or maybe three at the most. Okay. I had to look at probably 50 or 60 deals to find this one. We're the ones.
Uh-oh. So again, open invitation. We have tomorrow, and then Sunday will be available. We're helping out with the mutual aid network and invite anybody else. I'm going to turn it over to Justin and let you guys continue. And definitely thank you guys for showing up, attending, and to help out our great causes.
So yeah, what would you guys like me to discuss?
I thought you guys were sharing in regards to some of the stuff that I apologize. I thought there was something that you guys were talking about. I didn't want to interrupt, and I wanted to make sure that you provide the information.
Oh, okay.
I did see.
Yeah, I mean, I think we shared what we do. But yeah, I'm always open to talk with anybody. Especially my main thing, obviously I specialize in the payment processing world and funding, but I also have a great referral network. So whatever it is, I talk to people, even if it's not services that I provide, I always speak to people. So, obviously the payment processing world, I'm in there, and in the funding world. But yeah, I would definitely love to connect with you guys so we can have a kind of more detailed conversation.
I think part of
Absolutely.
the networking and part of what makes folks like us successful is making sure that we bring value, but we also create the authentic relationships. I think that can also that has a lot to do with what and how effective we can be. I don't jump on and want to pitch folks and want to sell services. That's definitely not our strong point or the way that we want to approach this. However, we did talk about it. We've spoken about the summit that's going to go on for this weekend for the mutual aid network, as Stephanie has put it in the chat as well. So definitely sign up or share that along for anybody else. We do want dream makers. We want folks that have absolutely just a thought process and want to get behind it. We are going to be definitely your cheerleaders in regard to that. What we're doing and what we're bringing to the table is a little bit different. We are going to be offering, and through project.diehard.org, and you guys can find the information, EC Marketing for All about us section. We are adding it. We're going to be adding a couple of the other, like Stephanie's Mutual Aid Network, to our networking partners. But going back to the project.diehard.org that you guys can find on our site or project.diehard.org, we're going to be working with folks and we're going to be raising $500 per client. So every website that gets sold, what we're going to do is we're going to give out of that, we're going to give a $500 donation on the business, on behalf of the business. So any business that buys a website from us, we're going to immediately help them, and they're going to become a patron to Project Diehard so that they will be able to bring fellowship breakfast for the first Saturdays of the month. We're also working now with communitypayitforward.us so that we can get some donations going towards that funding and that foundation. And so a lot of the programs that we're going to be doing, you yourself can choose. So again, I'm going to bring the same thing to Stephanie's organization. I want to be able to provide and promote any offer that she'd like or that would make sense to her in her services or her business or fellow entrepreneurs. And then we want to go ahead and get donations. We want to get donations not just into the Human Aid Network, but to donations into the other Today's Disability Channel, Project Diehard, obviously, Community Pay It Forward, also in regards to the World of Mobility Podcast Network, but also so that we can increase and we can get more resources. It's not for payments. It's not for money. It's not to pay folks. It's really right now at the point of these organizations, it's really at ground level. It's at fundraising level. It's at structuring level. So just as, and I lean back on Project Diehard because Brian says it and he says it on LinkedIn all the time. He's not to take a paycheck, and it's not for folks that are serving to be paid. It's so that we can get more resources and more actual money that's going into folks that need it. If at any point, and you guys know we vet these organizations, so your attendance and we've said it, your attendance is not an endorsement. Your participation is not an endorsement. With that being said, we want to make sure that we're careful. So any organizations and anything like that you guys want to bring to the table and say, hey, this organization needs help. Cool. We got a group of folks that can gather around it and we can actually sit down and see where we can best serve that organization. So we're definitely happy to do so. And again, more than happy to, but willing and actually making steps to do so. We're going to be doing daily also events that are going to be coming up, and it's all in the same aim that we kind of talked about and started off with. It's not just raising awareness, but also making sure that we are building a better future together. The Solidarity Summit, communitypayitforward.us, Project Diehard, It's not, it doesn't do anything by itself. Imagine just a yacht, a beautiful yacht, a beautiful luxury car, a beautiful luxury home, whatever you want to picture it as. But unless it's filled with people and things, and or somebody uses the yacht, or people utilize it and get some type of enjoyment, it does nothing to anyone. Same thing with a luxury car. Same thing with a luxury house. If it's a house just sitting there and there's nobody that's in it, there's nobody that lives, there's nobody that's sustained, there's nobody that anything, what good is it? So I don't want to make, I want to make sure that we're different. I want to make sure that we're doing it. We're actually going out to our networks. And one of the great things about it that technology has given us and the opportunity to actually collaborate worldwide. But I want to make sure that we're taking care of our own in our own backyards, in our own front yards, our own neighbors. So we're going to back up a little bit and we're going to just talk and reach out to those that are closest around us. So if you guys know a need or have a need, put it in the notes, put it in the comments, put it in, reach out to us, and we'll see what we can help out with. All right, Emily, take it away.
I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. And again, we are here every Wednesday, or not every Wednesday, every Friday at 3:00 p.m. Central. And we'd love to have everybody join us whenever your schedule allows. And also to connect with organizations that we're working with, partners like the Jay and the Disability Channel, Zach Clayton and the PEC Channel, Lawrence Wingate and Wingate Studios, Marcus and the Transform You Media, and Earl Williams with the Midwest Plainsmen podcast. All of the great work that they're doing. But till next time, hope everybody has a safe and productive weekend. Stay happy.